Owning a business. I don't know that I'm a good person for giving advice. My name is Lori Greene, and I grew up in Minnesota. I have lived in a bunch of places, and I've always come back home. Minnesota's home. I started Mosaic on a Stick 16 years ago. Mosaic on a Stick. What does that even mean? The Minnesota State Fair is just about a mile from here, and so Mosaic on a Stick it's just a bad joke. We are a classroom, an open studio, a mosaic supply store, but mainly it's a community space. People come here to be in community. We're a family, and we're always open to everyone else being part of the family. When I first started doing Mosaic, I was thinking a lot about the metaphor of Mosaic as a multiracial person. My parents met when my dad came to Minnesota to recruit white college students to go down to Mississippi for the voter registration drive. So my upbringing was different. Growing up in Minnesota, there are not a lot of mixed race people in the 70s. Living with my dad, we got shot at, and I knew that anytime I was in the car with my dad, we would be pulled over by the police. So, just a normal childhood. I wanted to be an activist the way my father was. On my father's side in particular were civil rights activists. And I so honor what they did. I'm trying to be as much like them as I can in my own language. We do a lot of commissions. It enables us to have a lot of scrap materials, which makes for really good free projects for people. Community is really important to me. A lot of people come here to play basketball, and then they come in, is there a bathroom in here? And then they're like, what? This isn't a rec center. We have so many great regulars that I miss so much. I get paid in love more than I get paid in money. I don't know what profit is. My accountants, I've had a few, find me really difficult to work with because they do not understand how I run a business. I have 4 assistants that work with me on projects and also help teach classes.
I don't know if there are any average days at the Mosaic on a Stick. There's always a different project happening or a different piece that we're working on.
I mean, I know she's the owner and everything, but it's not like a typical boss-like relationship. It's more like a family. I usually defer to other staff for delegation because, as Lori says, she's, not a good delegator. She'll just be like, I don't know what there needs to be done. Ask Tara.
She gives instruction, but then she really allows for our own creative process. So there's a lot of, freedom with what we do here.
There's only 4 of us here. You just are part of everything.
Now, during the pandemic, it's pretty quiet. I think the one thing that I can think of that I've gained was I spent a lot of time sitting in my backyard, listening to the birds and watching the birds, and I had never done that before. Just really paying attention. It was a gift. My work is deeply spiritual. The act of cutting the tile and laying each piece often is like a prayer itself. I really like old, crusty-looking plates and dishes, things that are really ugly. I particularly like to work with things that have been discarded and are not necessarily beautiful to begin with, but then when put together, they can become really beautiful. And I think that's true about people, too. We're broken people trying to heal. The memorial to survivors of sexual violence, that piece in particular was a spiritual piece, a prayer piece in protection of women and men who have experienced violence and trauma. I didn't have to do research on what it's like to be a sexual abuse survivor. I know what it is. So it's my own personal story, but also hearing and listening to the voices of the ancestors and knowing the trauma that we've experienced on this land, in this country. It was a really painful piece to make, but my goal was to create something that would hopefully help to heal the pain for so many people. There is a lot going on in my pieces, and some of it I know when I'm doing it, and some of it I don't know until after I've finished and stepped away from it. I think the story kind of changes too. It takes a long time to be able to look back and finally go, oh, that's why I've been doing this. That's what this means.